Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gamestack Podcast. This is episode 65, Each One Teach One. I am your co-host, Vendertron, and joining us this evening is also Rick McVick.
Hello.
And Shalene, all the way on the top there.
Hey guys.
Top of the heap. How are you guys doing? Do you have a Is it a good week? Good, nice
I just
time?
spilled diet root beer all over myself.
Oh, no.
It's very cold. And that was not the worst part of my day so far.
Wow. Enough said. Guess we know how you're feeling. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super.
Do you want us to pause the world so you can go and change your top?
No, I mean, we already had started the podcast. It'll be okay.
It'll be fine. Just breathe through it. It'll be okay.
If it makes Nears any difference, we can't tell.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
you still
that.
look fabulous, and there's like glitter armor behind you. It's
Yes.
very good.
I
very good.
redoubled my efforts to get Bethesda to put the bedazzled power armor in the game.
Yes, I see that you had resurrected that after 4 years of.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought we had discussed that at some point before. However,
yeah.
with all these like skins, I mean, it's more. Probable
And there are
than ever.
glitter textures available in the game now. You know, there's this glitter
Wow.
tuxedo, and the halo and the devil horns have glitter. So
Like, if there was ever a
texture
place in my
exists.
life where I wanted to have glitter, it would be in a virtual environment where glitter
Yes,
can't
because-
get anywhere.
Yes.
No, you would get done playing, lift your hands up, and you'd have glitter on your fingers. You're like, no, no.
How did it find me? Oh, man.
Glitter sucks.
Well,
I
yes.
love glitter.
Yeah. How was your week, Rick? Did you have a nice week?
It went. I mean, like this entire month, it just zipped by. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was better than I thought. My recording studio is now functioning.
Hey,
So there's that. I'm able
define functioning?
my record cutting services is up and running,
Nice.
and my recording service is up and running.
Nice.
There's only a few little kinks here and there, but other than that, I'm going to be cutting records.
Does that mean that Shalene and I are each going to get a frame-mounted vinyl of the Gamestack intro music that we can put
I
on our
should cut that
walls
for you guys.
with a
It
little
would be lovely.
Gamestack in the middle?
I'm still working on finding a printer for labels and sleeves. So at this point, they're just like clear discs, but I can make them and ship them to you.
What's the cost? What's the cost of cutting one of those? Or
Just
maybe you don't want to say that on air. Yeah.
No, it's easy to research, but just the disc alone is like $2. or something.
Okay.
It's just polycarbonate disc. That's
So
all
we
it is.
$2 for the disc. We cut them. We sell them for $200 online.
But
I
then
like
there's
it.
the sleeve. You know, every song is cut in
And we
real
sign
time.
them. You know, we
So
can
if we
sign
cut
them.
50, I've got to listen to that song 50 times fully. Just keep that in mind.
Oh man, that's
It
cool
is.
though.
It is real time. No, it is very cool, and I can't wait to do, live to disc stuff. I've been talking with different pressing plants, and it's good. It's moving good. I'm happy.
We should record our 100th show on vinyl. That would be cool.
We do 3.5 minutes, so it'll be a short show.
It'd be like 19 different vinyls.
Gamestack box set available on.
It would be game
7-inch.
stack. It would be a stack
Yeah,
of
it would.
vinyl.
Yeah. I still
Oh,
plan on
man.
doing like live stream cutting and stuff. I don't really know how I'm going to do that, but the studio or the venue that I'm set up in, they just got a really, really nice HD camera system set up. 3 different
Oh,
cameras. So I'll have to see if I can manipulate that in some way of doing some
cool.
streaming.
It sounds like you're on your way then with that. That's good.
World willing. I was going to say Lord willing, but that's not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been an interesting week here, but certainly not as interesting or tragic as it has been for you guys. I think that maybe now's a good time we should say a few words on the behalf of We Just Love Games and Gamestack Podcast and that Fallout show to our communities. Rick, take it away.
Yeah, we were discussing this week, the three of us. We're going to take a little serious note here. We were discussing this week, the three of us, about how to approach the situation that's happening in the United States and has rippled across the globe,
Yeah.
honestly. It's been, for those of you that maybe are not in the know, there was, um, yeah, his name was George Floyd, and he was killed by police officers. He was African American. I believe he had a daughter. He was like 40 years old. And it's one of a myriad of deaths that happen each year, unjustly by the hands of law enforcement. And we're not here to condemn anyone. We're here to condemn the actions that take place when bad police make really terrible decisions. I can say for the three of us that we stand with Black Lives Matter because they do. The peaceful protests that have been happening have been really nice to see. I mean, as far as uplifting to see, that's the proper word. I have had friends that have gone to these protests in Baltimore and different places like that. Um, and my heart goes out to them because I'm not able to join them, but I do stand with them. And I think we all three stand with all of the people gathering and protesting. Um, but it's something that we felt like we needed to address and say that um, we I don't know. It's hard to sit on a show like this and ask for change. It's just because it feels like we're talking into the ether a little bit. But I think if we all just keep in our minds that everybody matters no matter what, like this stuff is learned. What these cops do to these to African Americans or anybody that's a minority, like it's learned. It's not a thing you're just born with. And in a country where this shouldn't be happening. I love history. I think we all love history. It's one of the reasons why we love Fallout. We love going back through history and seeing how it core. Like one of the things we do on Fallout, on the particular Fallout show that we do is we go back through and we look how history correlates with the game, calling out things in the future like Cold War and things. And so a lot of the three of us and the listeners go back and we look at history, and like you go back to the 60s in this country and they're doing the same things that they're doing now. And as someone who lives in America and as fellow Americans, I'm sure that we're just sick of seeing this stuff.
Yeah. How are we still fighting for civil rights in 2020? How is this still a thing? Why? It makes me sick. It makes me sick, the things that are going on in the world right now. And we can't have this platform and not speak on this. We can't. It was not an option for us. I know we may some of you are not going to like that we address this, and
if you don't like that we are addressing this, and you don't side, you don't agree with what we're saying, the door is right there. You can show yourself out and unsubscribe from the show.
That's your right if you don't like that we're addressing this on a video game podcast. But the thing is, video games aren't made in a vacuum. Video games reflect the world in which they are made, and they reflect the people that make them. And the video game community as a whole has also stepped forward. The whole world has stepped forward to say that Black Lives Matter. And it should not have taken such tragic events to get us to this point. And I really just, we couldn't not speak.
Yeah.
And I guess that's all I have to say.
Yeah, and there's no easy answer. No one, there isn't an easy answer. I mean, because to fix one thing, there's a lot of things that have to be fixed in order to fix, just one small thing. But we can start taking steps. So if you do go and join these protests,
be careful.
Be careful. Godspeed. Keep your head down. Keep your wits about you. If things start, getting crazy, because there are people that are causing these things to turn violent.
Yes.
Don't join that. Be one of the ones that doesn't pick up the brick.
The other thing I'd like to say is I think where we see when things escalate, and the whole situation that brought this all to the forefront to begin with, started with bias and personal biases. And so I think it's important to, cognitively check with ourselves, and try to ground ourselves and see all sides. and understand the situation objectively before we react to anything. And it's really unfair. It's really unfair.
And there's something else that I would like to say that's been really bothering me a lot. Specifically in the gaming space, I've seen a lot of statements to the effect of, oh, keep your politics out of my games and whatever. And I would just like to say that human rights are not politics. Basic human rights are not a political issue. Zoning is a political issue. Bond issues, political issue. The discussion of public policy is a political issue. Zoning is a political issue.
I just like that's
But basic human rights are not a political issue. This should not be up for debate.
Yes, you're right.
Why is this controversial? It shouldn't be What is the world?
Mm-hmm.
What is the world?
No, you're absolutely right. It's not a political issue, but people like to make it so because it gets people angry and clickbaity. But you're right.
Yep.
I do want to say one last thing. Not to cut either of you two off if you have anything to add on to this, but I know that in the past we've had a lot of people who are in law enforcement that listen to the show, or active military or National Guard, things of that nature. If that's you listening to the show, you're listening to us, so you got to be one of the good ones. We stand by you too, because your job is not easy, but be smart. If you're, involved in this in any way of trying to keep the peace, don't follow bad cops examples. Don't go with the crowd. Don't protect them. I know that we do have military people listening and stuff like that at times with our podcast, and I just don't want you guys to feel left out in the wind either, because that can happen. It can easily become super one-sided. And I have family that have been cops for 30 years. I've got family that have just joined the police force in Baltimore City, and they're not bad. I know they're not. So
it's a thankless job, and it's an important job.
Yeah, and it's just so hard to address at moments like these.
And
it really is.
That's why I really try to drive home, try to approach every situation with the least amount of bias possible, because then you have a clearer understanding of what you're dealing with. And it's difficult because emergency service workers are trained, or we would like to think that they are trained, to think critically about every situation. But at the end of the day, we're all human, and we come and arrive at things from our own perspectives, which makes it all the more important to look at everybody's perspective and understand what is acceptable and what is unacceptable. But we are a community of people who love video games, and we know that we have a community of great people. And we know that all of you are really fighting for what you believe in. And if this is something that resonates with you, don't be afraid to tell people and to share your perspective with the rest of the community as well. We have to stand up for it.
I think I maybe got a little too fired up for a minute. And
no, it's totally
my head a little better. But I would like to just say, everybody, please make an effort to be compassionate.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will also say, a little bit of housekeeping. If you are venturing out and you want to take part in voicing your beliefs and your concerns, participating in protests in the US or elsewhere, COVID-19 has not left us. It is still here. We are going to absolutely and most definitely now see a even greater resurgence of this virus and a higher community transmission because of what's happening. And that's not to say that you shouldn't go out there and voice your perspective. But please be careful. Try to keep your distance from people. If you're going to scream at somebody, at least do it with a mask on, because we don't want you to fall ill. And the reality of the situation is 1 month out, maybe 2 months out, we're going to be inundated again with more cases because of what's happening now. So please be careful. And personal protective equipment, is still not an easy thing to come by. We're still fighting this all over the world. Frontline healthcare providers are still fighting this. We had another case today in Alberta die, unfortunately. We have 50 active severe cases in ICU. Every province, every state has active cases. It's still happening. And we have, if you haven't already heard, a charity fund or relief fund for COVID-19 frontline healthcare providers, in which we are taking donations to put personal protective equipment on frontline healthcare providers all over the world. It's called the In It Together COVID-19 Relief Fund. If you're interested in donating, all you need to do is just scroll down right below me on the side of the screen. You can click the link and donate as much as you want, as much as you feel, with either credit card or PayPal. If you are in a situation where you want to help but you can't because of financial strain, that's totally okay. Share our initiative with your friends and family. Share it on social media. That is worth just as much to us as any donation ever could. And we're doing quite well, guys. I think so far we've raised $2,709.69. So
nice.
Yeah. So we're still taking in donations. As I said before on previous episodes, it's not just a marathon, not just a 24-hour thing. We're going to be taking in donations for as long as we need to, and that is for as long as frontline healthcare providers need us to. So anyways, did you guys have anything else to mention before we actually get into the show today?
No.
Okay. Well, if you're listening to us live, don't forget to hit that host button right here on Twitch. If you're listening after the fact, share the show on social media. Tell your friends about it. Send it to grandma. Let her listen in. And you can also send us an email if you'd like, info@WeJustLoveGames. Sometimes we read them out on the show. We always love to hear from you wonderful people. But we do have some new Discordians to the Discord. Shalene, did you wanna list off those beautiful people?
Yes, I was just hoping you'd ask. Welcome to Gauss, PL Big Lion, Whiskey Warner, Dino in Spandex, Lord, and a Bit Trash Riot, back from the corner of shame. I don't think he was booted. I think it was from when I was trying to add him to the voice channel.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's my fault. I don't think he was in the corner of shame. I think that was from when I was trying to add him to the voice channel.
And how can people gain access to the Discord?
Well, you can access our Discord by clicking the link that is just below our Twitch screen here. Even if we're not live on Twitch when you listen, you can find our Twitch page, and that link is always active. Or you can alternately send any of us a message on social media, and we will get you that invite link.
Wonderful. Thank you. We don't actually have any 5-star review shoutouts this week, so if you would like to leave us a 5-star review shoutout, all you have to do is go to Apple Podcasts or iTunes and search Gamestack Podcast, leave us a little 5-star review with a little message, and we'll read it out on the show. We are going to cover some news today. We've got quite a bit. New free games and paid games for the month of June, as well as some pretty interesting strains within the markets and things. We're also going to talk about our gameplay, in which Shalene will most undoubtedly give us a play-by-play of Animal Crossing. And we have an email to cap the show off with. But before we get to emails, this just in. Rick, why don't you take us through the June releases?
Well, we've got some games coming out this month. We've got some already out now, including these. We've got Little Town Hero for the PlayStation 4 that is currently out. Command & Conquered Remastered Collection for PC, that is out as well. Rock of Ages 3: Make & Break, PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and Stadia, which is also out. We have Pro Cycling Manager 2020, Vendor. That is out for PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One as well.
Oh, it's just the new releases. It's not free, of course.
No, it's not free, no. We have The Dose de France 2020 on PC. I think that's how you say it in France. The PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. That is also out as well. Clubhouse Games: 51 Worldwide Classics for the Switch, which is out, and the Outer Worlds, which is out on the Switch right now. I
Oh.
think there's some story about that coming up.
Oh,
I've been
really?
playing it. I've been playing
Oh.
this all week. I got an early copy. So I will be talking about that. I will say Joseph Tao has this in bold, which indicates that it is a AAA release, and I'm going to say that bold is debatable.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof, oof, oof. All right.
There's a fair argument for unbolding that one.
I can't wait to hear it. So these games are coming out later this month. On June 8th, you can expect Beyond Blue for PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and then you have the Dark Eye: Book of Heroes, not plural books. That's for PC, June 9th. The Yes: Memories of Calcutta, that's on PlayStation 4, June 9th. Warborn, PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and Mac on June 12th. Desperados 3 is coming out for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One on June 16th, as well as Disintegration, which, if I'm thinking correctly, that's a really good Cure song. Album. It's a really good album. I think it's the album. Anyway, that's on June 16th. Hard Space: Shipbreaker Dash Steam Early Access for the PC on June 16th as well. Last of Us Part 2 comes out on PlayStation 4, June 19th, and Burnout Paradise Remastered comes out for the Switch on June 19th. Are you guys gonna, Jillian, are you gonna try Last of Us Part 2?
Oh yeah, of course I am. I loved the first one. I don't know, that's one of those games that, like, it was a very important game, and I enjoyed it very much, but I wouldn't say that it was fun. Like, it was an experience worth having, well worth having, but I definitely wouldn't call it fun. It was heavy.
I can't get through it because of the controls.
The controls are the most frightening enemy. They are far more terrifying and dangerous than the clickers.
Coming out on June 23rd, you get SpongeBob SquarePants: Battle for Bikini Bottom Dash Rehydrated for PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. Hunting Simulator 2, PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One on June 25th. Now, Vendor, do you like hunter simulators? Have you tried hunting simulators?
I've played Hunter Call of the Wild, which is pretty darn good.
That one's fun.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if that was your jam.
Well, it's got the word simulator in it, so
I know
probably gonna check that out. Yeah, just this looks really nice. Cactuses. Sorry.
I love that we're just listening to Vendor watch this trailer.
Sounded like a Dick's Sporting Goods commercial.
Aw, you can have dogs.
Dags? But can you pet the dog?
Hunting Simulator is like the most manliest I will ever be in my life.
You do have the curly mustache. I mean, that's
true.
Yeah.
True.
Also on June 25th, you can get Phantom: Covert Ops for the Rift and the Quest. I guess it's VR. And then Mr. Driller Drilland for PC and Switch on June 25th. Did we do this already?
No.
Did we?
Just read it, Rick.
Okay. Read the teleprompt. On June 26th, you get Fairy Tale on PC. Yeah, we did this for James.
Okay.
I remember reading Fairy Tale because Jess was like really excited about it.
Yeah, she went crazy. Well, whatever. Yeah. We're going to do it again. PC, PlayStation 4, and the Switch on June 26th. No Straight Roads on PC and PlayStation 4 on June 30th. And The Legend of Heroes: Trail of Cold Steel 3 on the Switch June 30th. What?
No, laughing? I'm just laughing that we already did this.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's just an update. It's an update that we're doing.
Yeah, we want to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Really want to drive those new releases home.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then no specific dates yet as an update to last show when we had no specific updates on these. This is our update. Pokemon Sword and Shield: the Isle of Armor expansion for Switch. Fogs.
Wait a minute. This is why it was in the previous email.
PC, Xbox One, Switch, and Made of Skur on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, also sometime in June. But what wasn't in that email were the free games this month.
Yeah, we definitely haven't covered the free games.
Definitely haven't done that.
Definitely not.
If you're
right, Joseph, right?
Answer quickly in the
Please
chat.
Confirm.
Quick.
Oh no.
If you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you get some pretty dope games available now until July 6th. That's Call of Duty: World War II and Star Wars Battlefront 2. So those are free, up for grabs. I would grab that. I've always wanted to play the Call of Duty World War II campaign, but just haven't.
Keep in mind, those are only available until tomorrow.
No, July 6th.
Oh, I thought that said June 6th.
No.
Never mind.
New games with gold for June 2020. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, available until June 30th. Coffee Talk.
Those Shantae games are fabulous. I love them.
Are they?
Yeah, they're really great. They're 2D like platforming games, and you play as a belly dancer who is half genie, and you can do little belly dances. And she has this like flowing ponytail, like an Ariana Grande ponytail, and she whips her enemies with it, and sometimes can transform into other animals via the power of belly dance. It's
Sounds
fantastic.
like your kind of game.
It is.
Coffee Talk, which I don't. What is Coffee Talk? It's available June 16th to July 15th on Xbox One, and Destroy All Humans, available from June 1st through the 15th on Xbox One and 360. Sign Mora is available from June 16th to June 30th on the Xbox One and the Xbox 360. For Amazon Prime members, you can claim 16 free games in June: Forsaken Remastered, Observer, Project Warlock, Steel Rats, The Flames in the Flood, Anna's Quest, which ends on June 5th, so today's your last day to get Anna's Quest. Silence, The Last Tinker: City of Colors, which is available until June 19th. Max: The Curse of the Brotherhood, ends June 26th. And Dream Daddy.
Oh, I'm excited. I've always wanted to play Dream Daddy. It's one of the sillier dating sims. Yeah. Observer, if you'll recall, is the only game that I've ever rage quit on a stream. Yeah.
I do not recall.
It was awful.
The other thing I want to add in here, it's not a new game, it's an old game. For PlayStation 2. Did either of you have a PlayStation 2?
No.
Fender?
Yes, I had a PlayStation 2.
Okay. Were you into survival horror games?
No.
On your PlayStation 2? Okay, so then there was this PlayStation 2 game called Rule of Rose. And I was really into survival horror. I mean, I had Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly, which was amazing. Silent Hill games, the Resident Evil games, all great on the PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 was just great. Anyway, when I would go into my local GameStop, there was always this case on the wall. It said Rule of Rose. And it was like, I want to say it was like $11 or something like that. And it's about this lady who somehow gets trapped in this world that's run by kids. And it got banned in a lot of places. It was super controversial because there was like a weird, like the kids were murderers and crazy, like serial crazy things. And there were like quasi-sexual elements in the game. Like it was just a really demented, messed up game. And I was like, I always wanted to try because it looked terrifying and crazy, but I never bought it. And so the other day I saw it pop up on Reddit. Someone was like, hey, I was digging through my old games and I found Rule of Rose, the most expensive PlayStation game that you can buy. And I went, schwa. And apparently that game goes for $250.
Wow.
Stupid me. Should have bought it. And apparently if you have the limited edition soundtrack, it's worth even more money. So anyway, missed opportunities. I just thought it was interesting.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of great games coming down for June. A lot of coming out of the PlayStation Plus store. You know, guys, I'm not on the list, but if you're one of the 4 consumers who filed a lawsuit against Sony, you may be able to use those free games in the PlayStation Plus store to pass the time while you're waiting for your settlement. Sony is being fined $3.5 million over video game refund failures.
What?
Yes, the federal court of Australia is ordering Sony to pay $3.5 million in fines for breaching the Australian consumer law in regards to their refund policy. On Friday, the Honorable Justice Simon Stewart ruled the company had made misleading representations to 4 consumers who believed they were entitled to refunds after purchasing games. This article comes to us from the Sydney Morning Herald by Matt Bungard. And he talks about how the case actually centered around Sony's misleading claims about consumer rights when it comes to refunds, and when they made complaints after encountering difficulties with downloading and playing a game that they purchased on the PlayStation Store. A digital game, I should say, of course. So the charges were made against Sony Europe, which is an incorporated in the UK, but provides the terms of service agreement that Australian customers must agree to when creating and using a PlayStation account. These terms are also made available to the public on the Australian PlayStation website. But the ACCC chair, Rod Sims, said May of last year, when the proceedings were first brought against the company, that consumers who buy digital products online have exactly the same rights as they would at a physical store, and that Sony Europe's alleged conduct may have caused Australian consumers to not seek a refund, replacement, or repair for a faulty game when the Australian consumer law gave them a right to do so. So it's kind of nice to see that, you know, people are lashing back regarding digital purchases, and I think that the rights of consumers should be considered equal when it comes to digital purchases as well. Yeah.
So this little quote here, it says, "Consumer guarantee rights do not expire after digital product has been downloaded and certainly do not disappear after 14 days or any other arbitrary date claimed by a game store or developer." What happens when the servers go offline and you can't effectively play that game anymore in like 2 years?
I mean, you still have the product. You still have the product, but you can't.
It wouldn't function.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I'm
I don't know.
curious, like,
I don't know
how that works in Australia law.
There could be like a time limit on those sorts of agreements. Yeah, Sony actually also
see them stand up.
Sony also admitted liability and made joint submissions to the federal court with the ACCC, and they will be contributing to the ACCC's legal costs. So, yeah, this all kind of happened when the Sony customer service representatives told them over the phone that they wouldn't be entitled to a refund for the digital downloaded games that they had purchased more than 14 days earlier from the date. Wow. So, yeah. Anyways,
like 3.5 mil is like nothing to Sony.
I have a question. Yeah, I know it's a drop in the bucket for them. Have you guys ever digitally bought a game that you were unhappy with and tried to refund it and they wouldn't let you refund it?
No, because every game that I've not liked, I've realized it within like the first hour of playing it, and Steam's really good about refunds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever asked for a refund on a digital game.
I guess that could be one of the advantages of purchasing games through Steam or some other third party.
I'm very decisive. If I've purchased the game, I know I want it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting that it's Sony Europe that is being sued here, given that it's Australian consumers and it's not Sony Australia that deals with consumer purchases. Australia? There is. It says in the article that Sony Australia declined to comment on the matter. Huh. So, yeah.
Strange.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys love video games, right?
Love them. We just love them.
Well, I hope you don't like them too much, because a new study coming out of the University of New Hampshire is now telling people that people who play video games, particularly in this study they conducted, they looked at college men. They found that college men who played video games had unhealthier diets. And so this research was presented at the Nutrition 2020 Live online conference just recently by a graduate student at the University of New Hampshire. Dustin G. Moore, who's a PhD student, and he said video game usage has been studied extensively in children and adolescents, but less so in adults. And to our knowledge, not at all in college students. Because college students are presented with a unique experience compared to other adults and children, it is important to understand how video game users in this specific population behave. So they did the study on 1,095 male college students, where they looked at the percentage of body fat, their body mass index, their waist circumference, and among the entire sample, they found that 30.5% did not play video games, 39.4% played moderately, which meant, less than 1 hour daily, and 30% played heavily, at least an hour daily. Students then recorded their food that they ate over 2 days or 2 weekdays, and then 1 non-consecutive weekend day. And what they found was this. So they found that those who played moderate and heavy video games consumed more saturated fats and compared to their non-user counterparts. They also consumed more salt, and that was particularly among moderate game users compared to non-users. And among heavy video game users, they found that they ate more discretionary calories than non-users. So these are things like processed foods, really high energy dense foods, chocolate bars, candy, fast food, that kind of thing.
Cool Ranch Doritos.
I mean, this is my wheelhouse. It's the whole reason I included the article. But I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised.
I was gonna say, like, who did the study? Captain Obvious.
I'm not surprised at all. But the thing is that everybody always assumed it, but there was never any evidence to say so because they always worried about the children. And I'm like, what about adults? What about adults? Especially, people who are right behind the boomers, the millennials. These are a population of people who love to play video games. And I think that this study is really going to help pave the way for trying to promote health. And that's why I'm always trying to promote health on my streams. Get up, do some stretches, let's cycle online. So, yeah.
The problem is healthy foods are not easy to eat or prepare when you're trying to play video games. The thing with, like, Cool Ranch Doritos is, like, you can grab a chip, pop it in mouth, keep on gaming. I mean, like, that's Slim Jims. You eat them with no hands. You just suck them up like spaghetti strings. Like, it just, like, you try eating a salad while gaming. Like, either you're putting your face in the bowl, or you got to use a fork, and that doesn't work.
You don't make friends with salad.
I'm just saying, man. Like, you have to figure out a way to make healthy, like nuts. Nuts are great for gaming and health, and you can just palm those things in, especially unsalted almonds, which is the best kind of nuts ever. Unsalted almonds.
You don't win friends with salad. You don't win friends with salad. You don't win friends with salad. You don't win friends with salad.
Sorry.
Oh dear.
Anyways, I wanted to share this study because I think it's really cool, and just to echo that, it's really important for us to be active. And I mean, the study only focuses on nutrition, but pair that with sitting in a chair for 12 hours on an end playing a video game all day long or something. The repercussions.
That's still absolutely what I'm planning to do on Sunday, though. 12 hours right here in the chair playing the video.
12?
I mean, I'm that's what vendor said, so
yeah.
All day.
Well, my chair's broken now, so
again?
Yeah, the back is broken.
What are you doing to these chairs, Rick?
Do you have a lot of rage?
No. Not at all. Why would you say that?
Speaking of rage,
did a chair cause you a traumatic incident as a child?
I feel like you need something that's impervious.
On a cement cat.
On a cement cat?
Yes. You know, like when your grandparents had those ridiculous decorations sitting around their house?
This explains the chair and the cat.
They had They had a cement. No kidding. They had a cement cheetah. Like it was huge, right? And I was pretending to be a cow, as you do. And I jumped up on the chair, fell forward, and I chipped the ear off the cat with my forehead. Yeah.
So this explains the chair, the cat, and why you don't pay attention.
And also the rage.
Yeah. Yeah. I went from like E equals MC square to like of mice and men when I smacked.
Total loss of all logical functioning.
They had to put me in a papoose. It was traumatic. It was traumatic. Rage.
Well, yeah, I don't really know how to segue.
What a podcast this has been.
While
There'll be a strip in the chat says I literally brought a ceramic cat home from my grandma's last week. See? Does it have a chipped ear? Maybe it's the same one.
Yeah. Well, while Americans across the United States are also raging, and other countries are joining them in solidarity in the continued protests against racism in the U.S. As well as the world. Several gaming companies have banded together to show their support as industry giants against racism worldwide. And I just want to quickly read out what some of these companies have said, and you guys can comment if you want. Sony said, being silent about the violence and racism Black people experience as being complicit, we stand in solidarity today and every day with the Black community. # Black Lives Matter. Very nice. Naughty Dog put out a statement. They said, now is not the time for any of us to be silent. For too long have too many suffered under the systemic problems in America. Too many have lost sons, daughters, brothers, sisters, fathers, and mothers. We stand in solidarity against racism and injustice. Now is the time for all to do our part and end anti-Black racism and violence. Many of us at Naughty Dog are donating to national and local organizations. Please consider donating yourself. We hope to see the beginning of lasting change for people of color in America. That's kind of cool. Also, Riot Games put out a statement. They said, alongside our nation, our hearts are heavy as hope seems lost and trust has been broken. Riot Games stands in solidarity with the Black community against all acts of injustice, racism, prejudice, and hatred. Silence is not an option. Let our collective voices rise and our actions make progress in reality. Now is the time to unite through our skills, talents, and time in the most impactful ways possible. Our communities of color deserve more. Black Lives Matter. And Microsoft put out somewhat of a novel on the subject, but I will read it anyways. Yesterday, in our monthly employee town hall, we addressed an issue that is causing deep pain, anger, and anxiety for so many of our employees, particularly the Black and African American community. I was especially moved by the sentiments from our CEO, Satya Nadella, who shared his thoughts on showing empathy and compassion and how each of us can come together to drive change in our communities and our world. One thing is for sure, we can't be silent. In that spirit, I want to share Satya's remarks because I felt they were universal, applying beyond Microsoft and our employees. So I asked Satya to allow me to share an excerpt. And then, I don't know... I guess there's no excerpt. More on this later when we find out what Satya Nadella has said about that. But yeah, those are just some of the comments from some of the companies. It's really nice to see some remarks. Have you guys seen any other video game industry giants posting things on social media and things like that?
Most companies have come forward with a post. I know Nintendo did. And I've seen several smaller publishers and developers come forward as well. I would like to add another personal sentiment to this. Please, guys, let's all just remember to continue supporting people of color after the hashtag stop trending. I feel like it's something that has a lot of attention right now, and I worry that people are going to just slip right back into behaviors that are not progressive.
I mean, we are a scroll culture, right?
Yeah.
people
So
things phase out and people forget about them, but they're still there.
please continue supporting people of color after the hashtags have stopped trending.
Mm-hmm. What were you going to say, Rick? Oh,
Nothing. No.
okay. Well, yeah, it's nice if you see any of those messages from some of those industry giants, take a moment and read them, share them with your friends as well. But anyways, have you guys seen the new footage of the canceled Avenger game?
Nope.
It
I
has.
didn't even know there was going to be one.
It has since emerged.
Who was making it?
This game was being well, the version of the Avengers game was actually discovered on a hard drive by obscure gamers, and the footage was uploaded by Andrew Borman, the digital games creator at the Museum of Play. The footage is actually taken from an early build of the game. The Avengers game, the original developer was in development in 2011 at THQ Studios Australia and Blue Tongue Entertainment. And they were eventually canceled after THQ suffered financial troubles and forced to close their studio. But the digital games curator at the Museum of Play discovered this on one of the hard drives, and I guess the footage is taken from an early build of the game, which features sparse, undetailed levels, placeholder collectibles, untextured enemy models, and things like that. But you can still easily kind of see a first-person co-op brawling gameplay that the project was, eventually becoming. So, yeah. While this game may have been a co-op, it never really saw completion or release. But Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix are actually currently working on a new third-person Marvel's Adventure co-op game, which is scheduled to release this September. So you'll be able to see more of that as part of the IGN Summer of Gaming event, which we will talk about in a moment, and also where more things will be shown on the War Table feature. But this article is coming out of IGN specifically by Matt Perslow. But yeah, I just thought we'd share that as well. Games randomly showing up on hard drives.
Randomly.
Yeah. Like, whose property is that? Is it still technically the intellectual property of...
But then
would
it's also a
imagine.
licensed game, so the license holder, the license owner,
Like, to
have-
share that information on social media.
Mhm.
I have a feeling in 2 weeks' time we'll be reporting on a lawsuit that emerges from this very article. Stay tuned for that, folks. Yeah. And I know that we covered this on Gamestack, but I thought maybe we could talk about it again, the E3 alternatives for 2020. Because some of them are actually coming up fairly quickly here. Tomorrow on June 6th, you can check out the Indie Live Expo, which is happening. If you go to, I think it's part of NintendoLife.com, you should be able to find the information there. But at 11:50 a.m. British Standard Time, 6:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a smaller scale 3-hour event from Japan that will be streamed on YouTube and other platforms will show you some information about some new games. We'll hear music from Undertale, some new indie titles, and special messages from Toby Fox and Kazuya Nino and some of the other developers. So
our GameStock bumper is actually part of the Undertale soundtrack.
Oh, really? Cool. Starting on June 8th and going all the way until June 24th, you can catch the IGN Summer of Gaming conference or online event or whatever you want to call it. So this is also going to be happening, and you should be able to check out and catch some of the live streams and interviews, which will be available on, I assume, probably the IGN's YouTube maybe Twitch pages, things like that. You'll also be able to catch limited run games, hashtag LRG3. That was originally supposed to start on Monday, June 8th, but it's actually now, I think it's been postponed. I'm not sure. The Escapist Indie Showcase, which is also will be happening June 11th to June 14th. EA Play 2020 starts on June 11th as well. The Guerrilla Collective, Saturday, June 13th through to Monday, June 15th. Future Game Show, Saturday, June 13th. The first day of the devs will be happening on the 22nd of June. And also on the second day on the Monday, July 20th? I'm not sure what. Anyways, the NGPX Expo, which will be happening on June 23rd. Be sure to check that out. And there's a bunch of other ones, just to name some of the big ones. Gamescom is having an open night live Thursday, August 27th through to August 30th. And Ubisoft Forward will be happening on July 12th. So, yeah, those are all of the E3 2020 alternatives. If you are, if you were planning to go to E3, you might want to check out some of those. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'm just gonna put on the cute clothes that I bought to wear to Los Angeles and watch these live streams while I sadly eat a bag of Doritos. Yeah. Just...
Oh man. Well, conferences might be going down the pooper, but the stock market certainly isn't. Shalene, why don't you take us through the stocks?
Thank you, Vendor. As of closing today, June the 5th, 2020, GameStop is looking pretty positive. Sony is at $67.31, up $1.13. These are reported in US dollars, of course. Microsoft is at $187.20. That's up $4.28. Nintendo closed at $52.72, up 63 cents. And of course, the spread is since our last podcast. Take-Two is at $128.91. That's up $1.32. Activision is at $69.43. That's down 38 cents. And Ubisoft is at $67.40, down 94 cents. That is the biggest drop on the list here. And EA is at $118.32. That's up $1.14. They did. Microsoft is killing it. I should have never sold my Microsoft stock. I had a single Microsoft stock, and I made pretty good money on it. Yeah.
What did you sell it at, Shalene?
Pardon?
Did you lose money? Would you buy?
Can I ask what you bought it at?
Hey, there you go. How many shares? We can do the math and find out how rich he is, Shalene. Damn.
Nice, Vendor. Nice. Very nice. You should, yeah. You should. You've done well. You've done well.
Just put the money in one of those money guns and like walk around your house like dollar bills, yeah. Just by yourself.
Well, we do have an article here from the Motley Fool that is giving us some recommendations of 3 video game stocks to consider buying right now. Of course, they have led this article with some information about the COVID-19 pandemic, and the resulting work from home and isolation has resulted in more people being at home playing video games. So here are the 3 stocks that they recommend. Activision
I got
Blizzard.
you guys. Sorry.
You okay, Vendor?
My audio was out on stream, which was actually perfect because nobody needs to know. Nobody needs to know what we just talked about, so it's good.
Okay,
Worked out.
I'll
Yeah.
edit that out of the.
You won't have to because you're using the stream audio. So.
Anyways, continue,
Yeah.
Shalene.
Activision Blizzard. So Activision Blizzard is doing really well over the last 10 years. It is up 590%. And the next 10 years look promising. The Motley Fool states that Activision has got a lot of momentum with Call of Duty and World of Warcraft, driving higher levels of player engagement, and the revenue has increased over 47% year over year to reach 971 million in the first quarter. Activision Blizzard is also home to franchises like Overwatch and Candy Crush, and along with growing revenue from esports, they generated 6.4 billion in revenue over the last 4 quarters.
Jesus.
Yeah, so another one they recommend is Zynga. I feel like this one is debatable. I think Zynga has not been doing as well as they think that Zynga has been. But Zynga stock has been a roller coaster over the last decade due to the quickly growing mobile game market. And expectations were really high, but Zynga stock has done well, according to the Motley Fool. Games like CRS Racing, Farmville, Merge Dragons, Merge Magic, Words with Friends, and Zynga Poker generated 1.46 billion in revenue over the last 4 quarters. So I guess that is doing pretty great. I'm sorry for slandering Zynga. I take it back. Zynga is acquiring an Istanbul-based mobile game maker called Peak for 1.8 billion, and that will increase the daily active users by 60%, while adding 2 of the top-grossing mobile games, Toon Blast and Toy Blast. That deal is expected to close in the 3rd quarter, so if you buy in before, that would probably be a good idea.
Wow.
And the final stock that the Motley Fool recommends is Take-Two Interactive. And Take-Two, of course, is the home of the Grand Theft Auto franchise, NBA 2K, all of Rockstar's games, Borderlands, the Bioshock series, Sid Meier. And in fiscal year 2020, Take-Two generated just over $3 billion in revenue and $632 million in free cash flow. And this company, of course, has done very well. That's something that we have reported on in the past. The wild success of Grand Theft Auto 5, which has sold 130 million copies since its launch in 2013. And in 2017, this is something I didn't know. In 2017, Take-Two acquired mobile game maker Social Point for 250 million. So that establishes their entry into the mobile game market as well. Their stock has had returns of over 1,110% over the last 10 years. So they're not certain that they will be able to continue the success or repeat the success, but they have ambitious plans to release dozens of titles over the next 5 years. Many of those are in existing popular franchises. We talked about that on Gamestack. And I really do think that this is a good buy. I actually had, this is just my opinions now. I'm no longer giving you the Motley Fool's opinions, but I had some Take-Two stock for a while. And when I say that I have stock, it's like 2 shares. And it paid off remarkably well, and it's still rising even after I sold it. So it's a good buy.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at some of the charts, and it's really come a long way. I don't know if it's a good buy right now because it's so high, but if it's going to grow, it's going to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Woo! Stocks.
Who'd thunk?
What have you been playing, Rick?
Well, I'm playing some Mass Effect 2, actually.
Oh.
It holds up really well for being 10 years old. It surprisingly really does hold up graphically and everything. And it made me think, I think we're going to see as time goes on, old games are going to hold up better than older games just because the graphics are not linear as far as their progression. which is good news because games that we like now, the only thing that's going to hold them back are probably going to be controls. But yeah, Mass Effect 2 has been a lot of fun. But the story that I want to tell tonight has to do with Fallout. And yes, I know there's another show, but my reasoning is the thing that happened right before the show, and I won't remember it next week because more shenanigans will kind of overtake my brains. So here goes. I've been playing Wastelanders and Fallout 76, and right before the show, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna hop on. I need to do some main story stuff because, like, not main story Wastelanders. So there's no spoilers. This is just like I started a new character when Wastelanders came out, and I need to actually complete the OG main story. You know, the launch the nuke Scorch Beast thing. So
Right.
I'm working through the Brotherhood, and I'm on the mission where I have to go find the transmitters, and it leads you down through the Cranberry Bog. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna go find the transmitters. I have the fixer, 45 caliber, got some ammo, ready to go. Got my automatic shotgun. Got some can of beans and a pocket full of dreams. I'm ready to go down to the Cranberry Bog.
Can of beans and
So-
a pocket full of dreams.
So I go down to that town, Watoga. I get to Watoga, killing some robots, shooting some ghouls. Things are going okay. Find the transmitters. It's fine. I'm on a private server, so it's like that nice lonely feeling. I feel a little outgunned. You know, I'm like, I've only got maybe 400 rounds for this rifle. And by the way, I'm a fully automatic build, so I eat through ammo really quick. So 400 rounds isn't a lot. And so anyway, get through Watoga. I'm heading to the railway station, find the transmitter there. And the next transmitter is over towards Site Alpha, which Site Alpha has an anti-aircraft missile launcher, and there's a Scorch Beast crack nearby.
Scorched bee. Oh no. Sorry.
Scorched bees would be adorable. They would make like little red honey.
Little black scorch trail behind them.
Oh,
There you go. Bethesda, that one's free.
They're all free. We
So-
know you're listening.
So I look at my ammo. I've got 300 rounds left after getting through Watoga. 250 rounds of shotgun ammo. I think I'll be all right. So as I'm heading over to Site Alpha, an event pops up and says surface to air. So I'm like, okay, as long as I keep the and I noticed there's like a level 50 Scorch Beast, and I'm like, I'm level 55, things will be okay. As long as I keep the surface to air missile up and running, it'll be fine. So as I'm walking over there, there's an Assaultron, and I'm like, crap, because the Assaultron's like the boss
Right.
of the area. There's
Right.
like two Mr. Gutsies and an Assaultron. There's a Scorched Beast, and now there's Scorched, and everybody's fighting everybody. And this Assaultron just goes, boof, and I'm dead. So it's like, fine, respawned in. I'm right next to the place. The Assaultron is fighting the Scorched, and the Scorched Beast is all just it's strafing, poofing the area with its little radiation poots. And I run over to the surface to air launcher, rebuild it. It's launching missiles. I'm firing my machine gun. So I just started blasting, basically. I'm getting hit. I'm staggering from Scorched Beast hit, and I kill the Assaultron finally. And I'm fighting Scorched, and I hear this like weird noise, and I'm like, "What is that?" And I turn around, and there's a legendary sheep squatch. I'm like,
Oh
Yikes.
man. Where
Oh,
were
no.
you? Where were you?
Site Alpha. It just randomly spawned. And so I run over and I fix the surface to air missile launcher again. There's Scorched and this Sasquatch and the Scorched Beast. Like bap, 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 reload, killing Scorched. Bap, 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 bap. The legendary redid his health. I'm like, crap, and it's just this constant fight. I'm throwing grenades. Things are exploding. Scorched Beast radiation everywhere.
Mhm.
And I hear click, click, click. And I'm out of ammo. And I'm like, oh no. Because the only thing I've got left is the shotgun. And I don't have a lot of shotgun damage. So
Right.
like I'm like laying shotgun rounds into this like Scorched Beast. And his health is just like, it's like tickling him, right? And I've got marsupial on, so I'm jumping everywhere. It's like turning into Halo. And I'm running out of ammo for the shotgun. I got like 100 rounds left at this point, and I'm like, I don't have enough ammo. And I see Archin is on the game in Discord, so I phone call Archin, like, Bates, I need help, So
You sent for a
I'm calling
government
him.
drop? Is that what you?
Yeah, I'm like, pick up. I'm sitting there, I'm fighting, grenade. I'm like, pick up, damn it, pick up, fighting. Scorched Beast is going, Scorched are coming back. And and he doesn't pick up. And then the text he goes, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Help!" I spelled it wrong, but he got the gist.
Right.
It was like all caps, and I'm fighting, and nothing. I don't hear anything. I'm like, "Oh no!" Fighting. I'm starting to wear down the sheep squatch after a while, and then I hear Buduk. He pops in Discord. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm like, "Help me." Please. Boom, boom, boom. And he's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I'm at Site Alpha." He's like, "You're in my world." I'm like, "No, I'm on a private server. Help, please." And so I'm still fighting. I I look at my inventory. I've got like 10 rounds for 5.56. So I pull out my 5.56 handmade, bang, 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 run out of that.
Right.
Pull out my laser rifle, boom, run out of that. I'm like, I'm just running everything dry. And then he's like, "Okay, I'll be there in a second." So like, help is on its way. Reinforcements are here. And then he
Help
shows
is on
up.
the way, did he?
Yes, he shows up, and I see him standing off in the distance, and he's like, "All right, okay," and he's like talking to himself. I'm like, "Boom, boom, what are you doing? Boom, 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 come here. Here's where, boom, boom, boom," and he's like, "All right, got it." And then he just like runs into this thing with his Deathclaw gauntlet. Swoop, swoop. Squatches down. Thoop, thoop. By this time, also the Assaultron and Mr. Gutsies have respawned. So he poop poop pops that thing down, and I'm like, "Whew, thank you." The Scorched Beast is finally flying off away, and then it gets down by the anti-air. And I'm just like, "Thank you so much," because like I was gonna die. I didn't have enough ammo to kill everything, and so it was just this really epic moment of just. He's like, "Yeah, I was hanging out with Bit Trash, and then you called," and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry to steal you, but I needed your help, and
Nice.
and then we traipsed around. He helped me get the rest of the transmitters, and at one point, we got ambushed by 3 Scorched Beasts. One was, I think, 2 were legendary, and one was level 80, and then there was a Deathclaw involved. It was right around that area, Shalene, if you remember, we were fighting for our lives, and then we're like, "Run into the mine, we gotta go."
Yes, and then the mine was full of Scorched Beasts too.
Yes. That's where this happened, and I'm like, is it always this like is it just always this testy down here? Like, I love the Cranberry Bog. I think it feels more new because I don't go down there very much, and so it's like this mystery, and it's all death and destruction. And
I had a similar but less epic experience down there sometime earlier this week. I don't remember what I was doing down there. I think I might have been looking for plants or something, and the Scorched Beasts attacked, and the Scorched were everywhere, and I was fighting, and I didn't make it. I was slaughtered, and a little while later, I was playing with Archon, of course, and a little while later he was like, "So do you want to go back over there and get your bag of junk?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Okay, do you want to just go get it, or do you want to kill everything?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to kill everything." So we roll back in, and I'm like, "Ha! Take that!"
Stuff comes on really quick down there when you least expect. Like,
yeah,
it really just pops off in a second, and
they're vicious.
But it was
It's
so
vicious
fun.
area.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was like one of those rare times where, not rare times, but it was one of those times when you could really see how they wanted Fallout 76 to work.
Yeah.
Where you're like, "I need help. I need to phone a friend," which I did. So I was lucky to have him on, because he's OP. He's level 230,000 or something, and he just came in and swiped everything with the Deathclaw Gauntlet, and everything was fine.
Basically, he can kill them with a stern glance. Like, it just.
It was funny. Every Scorched Beast that landed, he was like, "That was the worst choice," or like, "That was the last worst choice you'll make," or something like that, or something catchy. And he just walked up, and you'd see it go from half health to like nothing in like that.
Kill them with a stern glance. That must be a Shalene achievement that you have to unlock. One of those.
Honestly, Thunder, with these two, when one of those Scorched Beasts finally lands, it's lights out no matter what happens, because Shalene will just walk up and
with her death tambo.
No, she's got the bear fist now.
Oh,
she's got the skull bear thing, her bear arms.
The Deathclaw Gauntlet is a little more powerful, but that Yao Guai skull is ludicrous, and I adore it.
She just punches it with a skull. How barbaric is that? It's like, "I kill you with the skull of my enemies." But anyway, that was like the only story that I had.
Is it Jorah Mormont on the front of that? Too soon?
Oh my
Too soon?
goodness! Oh my goodness!
What's that?
Oh, it's a reference from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that was the house sigil for House Mormon.
One of the it's a long story. I don't want to explain
I've
it.
seen all of them. I just don't remember.
Okay, so when the Castle Black dudes, they wander north of the wall and then they take over the dude's house that has all those wives, and then they turn on the Lord Commander, Jorah Mormont.
Right.
Jeor was the Lord Commander. Jorah was the son.
And they kill him, and then the crazy guy drinks from his skull. Yeah.
I don't remember that part. I don't remember him drinking, but I remember that whole part.
That guy was probably one of the most villainous characters in the show, other than Joffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That guy was scary. He was scary.
He was creepy, scary. Yeah. He's going to be cast typed.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, have you ever watched Torchwood?
Mm-mm.
He was in Torchwood, and he was like super likable in Torchwood.
Well, like King Joffrey, he like left acting.
Yeah, I think
because he got cast typed so bad that he just
got Anakin'd.
Yeah.
Basically.
Anyways, sounds like you had a fun time.
Yes, but that was it.
Oh.
What about you, Vendor?
Well, I've been playing Sea of Thieves. I participated in my first server takeover, which was really cool. Do you guys know what a server takeover is?
Nope. I don't.
So there are some really great people out there that have like 12 computers in a single room, and 12 different Microsoft accounts, and they server hop and they try to find boats that are on the same server, and then they alliance the boats. And so the point of a server takeover is that they have 6 boats on a server, because that's the max number of boats you can have on a server, and they're all allianced. And then you have a crew, and you do a takeover, so nobody else can come into the server. So I mean, the whole thing about PvP is just gone right out the window. There's no randoms on the server. Now, there's a lot of people who are against it, but I participated in this server takeover as part of the St. Jude's Children's Hospital charity, which they raised like over $10,000 that day. It was crazy.
Very cool.
I think so far collectively across the globe and on Twitch, they've raised over $11 million just for St. Jude, which is like crazy. That's a crazy amount of money. And the guy who coordinated the server takeover, I'd never met him before. He was just this streamer. Turned out to be a super nice guy. It was really awesome to play with him. Nom Cake, shout out to you. It was a Canadian friend of mine who actually was like, "Yeah, I'm doing this server takeover. You want to join me?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." So, what they were planning to do was build the logo of the St. Jude fundraiser thing. And if you look up the St. Jude logo, it's a rocket, and then it says St. Jude Play Live. And I think I sent you guys the clip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so basically what we did was we put all of these mega kegs or ancient powder kegs at the base of this rocket. And then Nom Cake spent the whole day on Crook's Hollow, and we kept doing Athena's quest and Gold Hoarder's quest and bringing him all of our chests and like trinkets and shiny things and gems, and like we just kept bringing him boatloads of stuff like all day long.
Sheesh.
And at the end, we had this giant friggin' this logo, and he fired off a shot into the mega kegs, and it blew up, and it made it look like the rocket was flying, and it was super cool. So it was really cool to participate in that. To be on a server where all the ships, like, you know everyone. Well, I say know everyone, but you like,
you knew they were all friendly,
right? And to be able to just play and not have to look out on the horizon was kind of nice. It was kind of nice. Yeah,
nice.
Definitely would do that again. I've been trying to keep up on the dailies. Have you guys been doing the dailies?
No, I haven't played the game since they started that.
Oh my god! Well, the update's fantastic. They fixed the friggin' rowboat.
What's wrong with the rowboat?
Remember how you used to like go into the bench and you'd end up sitting down instead of going into the bench?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
fixed
Oh,
it
that's right. They
so
made
it's
it too. Yeah.
they fixed
That
it
is,
so it's not
frankly, the most exciting thing about the updates. to me.
right. So they fixed it so that instead of to access the bench you got to push R instead of F now. So it
Gotcha.
totally eliminates the whole issue, which
Nice.
was kind of nice. They also have added checkpoints for the tall tales.
Oh,
That's lovely.
So if
That
you're
is really-
doing the tall tale and you
Ah.
get attacked and sunk and you don't lose your progress, more or less, it saves it in chapters. So that's kind of cool.
That's very
That's
kind of
wonderful.
them to do that. I cannot tell you how many times we restarted the stargazing one. Ugh.
Yeah,
It took us a long time.
yeah. So I've been trying to do the daily bounties, and one of them was like defeat a skeleton ship. The other was deliver 3 cargo items to the merchant, and I missed a couple of them, which was kind of frustrating. I did this one today because I wanted to do the tall tale, but there was this one where it was land on a ship's deck by shooting yourself from your boat in a cannon. So then I was at Crook's Hollow, and I was in a sloop, and there was this other guy in the sloop, and I went on my megaphone. I'm like, hey you, can I shoot myself onto your deck from my boat? It's a daily challenge. He's like, what's a daily challenge? Clearly a Steam user. Total noob. Anyways, we spent
So do you feel like a god now that there's all the new Steam players?
PL, by the way. PL. We spent like 10 minutes shooting each other back and forth to each other's boats trying to get this daily quest just for 10 doubloons, and it was so funny. Yeah, it's kind of funny. But I've also been trying to get the friggin' Hunter's Haul. You got to catch 300 ruby splash tails to unlock 150 ancient coins. And I know it's totally not worth it. It's totally not worth it. It's like
The ancient coins are so hard to earn in game, though.
they are hard to earn, but for 300 fish for 150 coins, come on, Rare. Come on. That's a little bit cheap.
like
come on,
half
work
a
for
penny
something,
per
man.
fish.
Ugh, so frustrating. Anyways, the reason I jumped on today just before the show was that I wanted to get, I wanted to do the Shroud Breaker Tall Tale, because it takes like 20 minutes to do it. And when you do it, you get a Rising Morningstar crew jacket, the crew gloves, the trousers, and the belt. And they look awesome. So I've done that. I still have to do the Revenge of the Morningstar, but you have to have Fate of the Morningstar to do that one. And in order to have Fate of the Morningstar, you have to have the friggin' Storyteller Tall Tale done to unlock it. So I've got a bit to do, but 3 days to do that one. And you get the Morningstar dress jacket, the dress hat, the captain gloves, and the boots.
That sounds fabulous.
And then there's another, the Seabound Soul Tall Tale. If you do that one, you get the Rising Morningstar dress, hook, peg leg, and battle hat. So I want all of the outfits.
What a battle hat.
I know, right?
I
So
don't even know what it is.
What's the difference between a normal hat and a battle hat?
I don't know. Makes you feel more fierce sailing on the
Yeah.
seas. I don't know.
A giant feather.
I always feel fierce in a good hat.
Yeah. Anyways, so Sea of Thieves has been happening. 4 Mile and I have also been doing a lot of fishing. And just like chill fishing. Like we haven't been like we have had no inclination or desire to storm forts or sink people or do tails or anything like that. Just fishing. And it's super cool. I caught a hat. And
You caught a hat?
and I caught a plank of wood, and 4 Mile caught an old. She caught a skeleton fish. It's just like bones.
There's skeleton fishes?
Yes, and I also caught a skull, and these are part of the plunder loot that you can sell to the Hunter's Hall. There's 10 things that you have to do to unlock the commendation. So
That is so cool.
I've got 6 of them now. I got to get 4 more, but so yeah, Sea of Thieves is. I thought that it would be kind of bad with the Steam release, but so far it hasn't been. Like my experience today was not that bad. So
Nice.
yeah,
You
See,
seem to be enjoying
for a
it.
little while, you're going to be like way better than everybody else. You're going to be the master.
I've actually gotten a lot better on PvP. So I made a Canadian friend from the server takeover. She's wonderful. She lives in Toronto. And we've been playing on and off. and she likes to do some of the Reaper's emissaries.
Mhm.
And last weekend, I think it was, we went out with her partner because he had not got Pirate Legend yet, and he was at level 49. And we were like, hey, we're going to do Merchant, and we're going to get you to Pirate Legend tonight. And we ended up getting, like, grieved really bad by, I want to say it was 3 ships on a server that knew each other but weren't allianced. So... But they were like, man, you're really good at PvP. I'm like, no, I'm not. What are you talking about? And I kept, like, shooting over to the other people's boat, and I'm like, dead.
Mhm.
Okay, they're sinking now. And they're like, what?
Nice.
So, yeah.
I keep thinking of when PUBG released on Xbox. You know, we had played so much PUBG on PC. So for like the first 2 weeks of PUBG being on Xbox, I was like the best player on Xbox because I'd put in so much PC time. So I
Yeah.
feel like that's what it's going to be like with Sea of Thieves and the new Steam players.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, I am not a PvP lord. I'm getting
You're good
better.
at video games.
I'm
though.
getting better at it, but I still hate killing people and sinking their ship and stealing their stuff. It's not right. It's not right. It's not okay. They worked hard for that.
They signed up for it, though. They signed up for the possibility of being looted, man.
I know, but still.
They're there by choice, Vendor. They're not being forced to play that game. So
You know,
kill
it
'em all.
feels a lot better if you're not the instigator, you know. It feels really good to finish the fight.
Having
So-
someone tried to take you down. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, actually, we
Yes.
were fishing the other night last weekend, and there was this. We had a galleon, and we had parked at a fort, and I think it was the first night that the Steam thing had released, and this sloop comes up with diaper sails, and they're on their megaphone, and they're yelling out the N-word at us.
Burn them.
And I was like, oh, hell no. Like, do you know what's going on in the world? Like there's never an
Burn
appropriate time to say that, but even now, it's it's just unacceptable. So I grabbed a powder keg and I blew them to smithereens, and then I killed them, and then I killed myself, and I went on the ferry, and I was like, how dare you? There's people dying in America. Blah, 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 blah. I was so mad. I was just, like, furious. 4 Mile was like, dude, you raged so hard just then. I'm like, damn rights I did. It's not right. You can't. It's principle. Anyways, so. Speaking of eating people, I've been playing a lot of Maneater. Maneater is fantastic. If
What
you
is
guys
it?
don't recall, it's the one about the shark where you swim around and you eat stuff.
Yes. Right.
There's different sections of the map. I've progressed. I'm now a teen shark. And I've
At which point do you become a street shark?
I don't know. Maybe that's in the
Wasn't there
DLC
the
or something.
cartoon with like
Yes, they were
Yeah.
like
like
mutant
humanoidy sharks.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
humanoid
Yeah.
sharks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I moved into a new area on the map that's now the bayou. And it's really
Ooh.
cool because it's all like trees with like mossy things hanging down, and there's lots of junk in the water and all these little quests and stories and things that you have to collect. It's actually pretty fun. They did a pretty good job. The game is sort of... They wrote it and narrated it in sort of like a documentary style. So when you unlock a new thing or you come into a new area, it'll be like, the shark has been known to blah, blah, blah these parts, and ever since their ancestors and blah, 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 blah. And it's really cool. I like it. So I'm going to keep playing it. I think that... Wow, you are going through that game slowly. Well, I've only been playing it on and off, and I don't play video games like you do, Joseph Tao. So I think any game that I play is slow by comparison. But I like the feel of it, and it's pretty good. Shalene, I bought New Mexico.
You bought New Mexico?
Not like in real life. Yeah, I
Ah.
cashed out those Zoom stocks and I bought New Mexico. No, so now I'm your boss. Just saying.
Excellent.
Yes.
I'm gonna take off next Friday.
It's fine. Yep. No, I got the New Mexico DLC content for American Truck Simulator. Yeah.
So have you driven through my town yet? Is it
No,
in there?
I haven't driven, but I'm going to play this for you so you can see what it looks like.
Yes.
Tell me how similar it looks and how the feel is, because
That's New
I'm
Mexico.
curious. I'm
Yeah,
curious. It was
that's
a
pretty
nice
good.
drive. I went through Albuquerque, and then
There
I
are
went
not enough potholes.
I went up to
Did you make a
Santa
left
Fe.
turn?
I did make a left turn at Albuquerque, actually. I distinctly remember that. Yeah, and I kind of chuckled
The
to myself.
highway
this
is
is the
in
famous left
way
turn.
better condition than actual New Mexico highways.
I wish that our friends on the maybe I can window
Oh
capture.
no,
Yeah, I might be able to make it happen. Hold on.
this is where
Yes,
it all falls apart.
you should stream this sometime, and I can
Oh,
be there.
absolutely. Yeah. No, I
You be
can't.
the tour guide.
It's not gonna happen.
Yes,
Anyways, I thought it was a nice drive.
this is pretty accurate, actually.
Yeah.
It's pretty accurate. I want to know if they have my town, my little town.
Oh, they absolutely do. They
I'm so
have
excited.
to. Let me see. New Mexico
Oh boy.
ATS map. Let's see what they got here. So
Okay, zoom in.
here.
Computer enhance.
Well, those of you listening to the audio version of this, sorry.
No, it's fine. Okay, they got
There's two from Carries.
Roswell,
Cora.
Carlsbad,
Roswell.
Hobbs. Cause
Yeah.
you're like right here, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm right in this area
Yeah.
where you're pointing. Yeah,
So it's there. It's
right
just,
there. I'm about at that blue flag.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have to drive it and see. But yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah. So it was pretty good. American Truck Simulator's growing on me. I like the whole the roads are wider. Cause when you drive a truck in ETS, it's like threading the needle all the time.
Yeah.
So I've also hopped back into X-Plane 11. I successfully landed in Calgary last night before bed. Not in a ball of flames, so that was good. But I'm going to try and get X-Plane 11 up and running. I really need to work on my landings in preparation for Flight Sim 2020. I'm hearing from some of the people that I watch on Twitch that it's really good and that we're going to love it because they're playing the alpha. But they can't comment anymore on it, of course, because embargoes and things like that. But so anyways, that's my gameplay. What about you, Shalene?
Well, let's see here. As you alluded to at the beginning of the show, of course, I'm going to talk about Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is a permanent part of my life forever. I love it. Animal Crossing, it's the best. So I got my KK Slider concert, and you guys probably have no idea what that means. But KK Slider is a dog who plays guitar. He is a musician. He is the star of the Animal Crossing world. He crosses all genres of music. He is a superstar, and he is also the only animal that doesn't wear clothes of any kind.
He's adorable.
He is adorable, yeah. So KK Slider came and did a concert at my town, and he liked it there so much that he will be returning every Saturday to perform. And actually, that is the end, quote unquote, of the game. So you get credits after you get your KK Slider concert.
There he is.
Of course.
Isn't he cute?
Oh, you brought him on. KK is the best.
He's like it. I mean, he's naked, sitting on a stool like Jenny from Forrest Gump.
Yes, he is. He absolutely is. But I'm still enjoying it very much. I caught a shark the other day. I guess it's shark season.
Shark
in the
Week.
fishing, yeah.
It's shark season.
Yes, I caught a great white shark. I was so excited. The sharks are my favorite things to catch in terms of fish. I just find it hilarious. I love catching sharks. And I'm still having a ton of fun with Animal Crossing, collecting lots of clothes and hats and trying to decorate. I'm putting together my fruit kitchen right now. So if anybody has any good fruit recipes for fruit furniture, let me know. Animal Crossing, it's great.
Okay.
Rick, have we talked about playing Hunt Showdown together yet?
I think you guys talked about it on the
last
last
episode.
Okay. I've been playing a ton of Fallout 76 lately. We've got all these events happening. Of course, there was the Mole Miner event. and Fosnaut is happening. So I'm playing as much Fosnaut as I can. And lots of Nuclear Winter with Rick and Archon. That's been really, really fun. I'm really close. I'm really close to that ghillie suit. The boys have already gotten their ghillie suits, and I'm very close.
Nice.
So pretty soon, I am going to be an expert level bush hider. It's going to be amazing. Hiding all the bush and be one with the bush. It's going to be so good. And we actually had a really great experience in Fallout 76 last weekend.
Oh yes, this was.
Yeah, it was.
Amazing.
We were running Fosnaut. Archon and I were on, and BitTrash sent us a message and said, "Hey, you know, can I hop on Fosnaut with you guys?" Of course you can, BitTrash. So we moved over into the voice channel in our main WJLG Discord, and we were in there, and Rick jumped on with us, and so did Alex, and so did Jessica Starr, and it was fantastic. We had a really, really great Fosnaut experience, just running that on a private server, and it was really fun knowing everybody. And after the event, we were just trading plans and trading masks, and it was so fun. It was really a great experience, and I think we need to definitely plan some
Do
more
community
community
days.
events in the future. It was really, really fun doing that.
I gave
Sorry, I'm
I
muted.
was gonna say I gave BitTrash, Alex, and Jess my famous gifts.
Housewarming
Their
gifts. We did camp
housewarming gifts?
tours. We did
Yeah.
camp tours. It was so fun.
That actually gets me thinking. I should see if I can reach out to my Canadian friend to do a server takeover for Sea of Thieves for us. Set it up.
Yeah.
Because all
By
he
the
has,
way,
it's like he logs on in the morning and spends like 30 minutes setting up the boats, and then he's like, "Okay, have
Wow.
fun," and then they just play for like 24 hours straight.
Wow.
I do also need to let you know, Vendor, that there have been sad issues happening at WJLG Lake. The area where you build your house is now being designated as a random event area. So
Yeah.
that's why
Your
you have
house
trouble building.
might still be able to live there. I'm not sure.
But you're gonna have trouble building there.
We
because
talked
there's
about
always-
this.
yeah.
We talked about this on TFS last week, and
Well, we confirmed it because there's always stuff happening at that point now.
it's
not
because
just one thing.
See, they know. Bethesda is listening. They know.
The lake has become more popular as a camp location as well. I've noticed there have been several times recently that I've had to find another server because I
Really?
couldn't place my camp.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I get deeply offended when I cannot place my camp. Deeply offended. Somebody's in my place. That's my spot at WJLG Lake. What are you doing? So
Yeah.
Well,
take deep personal offense.
I'm gonna have to move.
Yeah, 'cause
I'm
you
gonna
move up on
have
the
to.
hill.
Well, I mean, I'll just live with you.
That'll work.
I've only got one bedroom. It's not gonna work.
Oh, that's okay.
Wink.
I'll make a shack outside.
You can live with me, Vendor. It'll be like a slumber party.
I'll just live up on the rock, and I'll be like that landlord
Sleep
that's
on that
looking
throne.
down on you guys, like your lawn isn't green enough.
Well, I've moved my house into the lake actually, with the
Into
walkway to the
Rick's
shore.
current house is lovely.
It's nice.
It's very lovely.
I want to just like go there and sit on the porch and like open up my window in real life and let the breeze come in.
Right?
So
That's 4 Mile and I do that in Arc. We go and we sit on the patio that we built that's elaborate, and we sit by the fire, and then we just drink wine on a Discord call and enjoy the fire. That's what we do.
although it's getting hot here now, not as breezy, so that I can't really do that.
That is so nice.
Mhm.
But I've been enjoying a lot of Fallout 76 lately. It's been
It's good.
tons of fun. Probably gonna hop back into that after we end. I think we're gonna go do some Nuclear Winter. I've also been playing the Outer Worlds on the Nintendo Switch, and they did send me a code. I think on Monday. So I've been playing it for a little while. I haven't put in a ton of hours, but I'm still on the first planet. But I have done a bit, and it looks really bad, guys. It looks really, really bad. I knew that there would have to be a graphical downgrade from the PC and console versions to be able to run this on the Switch, but man, you guys, it looks really bad, really bad. It looks a little bit like the blurriness effect that you guys were complaining about in Fallout 76, only it's the whole screen, not just the peripheral. It's so blurry that I wondered if I had taken off my glasses last night. I was like, do I have my glasses on my face? It's that blurry. Cutscenes and close-ups of characters don't look too bad. They're, what you would expect on the Switch, in my opinion. They're not sharp and crisp, but they look pretty good. But the world itself and characters in the world, at any distance, just they look so bad, so formless, and there are no textures in this game. It's just, it looks awful. I have heard that there is a release day patch. If there is, I haven't played it with the patch. I hope that mitigates some of these issues. I will definitely install this patch and let you guys know on the next episode if that makes much of a difference. I don't know why they wouldn't give that patch to the people who are reviewing the game. That doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but there you go. It may look better on TV mode when it's docked, but I haven't played. I've only played handheld.
Yeah.
I've only played handheld. I do feel like if you're gonna play it on a TV, you may as well play it on one of the better consoles or on PC, because I've played it on PS4, I've played it on PC, and it's a beautiful game. It looks pretty great. But not on Switch.
Yeah, it looks really good on PC.
It does run. It does run very smoothly on the Switch. I was surprised. The frame rate was excellent. And I think that was probably the decision they had to make. Do we want this to look good or do we want this to run well? And it does run well. It runs very smoothly. Shooting feels a little weird with the Joy-Con, like tiny sticks, and the little strange triggers. It feels a little weird, but I think that I will get used to that. There is a gyroscope aim feature. I haven't tried that. And I haven't tried it with the Pro Controller yet, which I'm sure would improve the experience.
Is the Joy-Con gyro kind of like Link, the Zelda game?
Yeah, it's basically Link's crossbow training, yeah.
Because I was like, I had a really good headshot lined up once and I sneezed and missed.
But that said, I'm not necessarily discouraging you from this game, because it is cool that I have this fantastic New Vegas-esque RPG that I can take with me anywhere. That whole expansive universe of the Outer Worlds is there in the palm of my hands. I can carry it in my purse, and that is magical. It's really remarkable. But this game has a very, very specific consumer in mind, in my opinion. You know who you are if you want this game on Switch. If that consumer is not you, I don't recommend the game. If definitely don't play the Outer Worlds on Switch if you have the ability to experience it on another console, or if this is going to be if you can only buy it once. If you're a big Outer Worlds fan and you like the idea of taking it with you, grab a copy. If you only have a Switch, this is an excellent game. But if you're only going to buy this game on one platform and you have a platform that's not the Switch, definitely choose a different platform, in my opinion. I hope that this patch will help with the graphical issues, but that said, it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing. So that's my gameplay.
Cool.
What? Joseph, I just saw in the chat, Joseph Tao said that IGN gave it an 8.5 despite the graphics issues. Yeah. That's no way.
Yeah.
IGN. No way. That's gonna be.
Yeah. Well, I did lie to you guys. I said that we had an email. We don't actually have an email. But if you would like to send us an email, all you have to do is go to send us a little message and send it to info@wejustlovegames.com. Don't forget, next Friday, we are hosting another episode. I think it's actually episode 45 or 46 of that Fallout show. Oh, dropped something. And we're also doing, as I mentioned at the beginning, the In It Together COVID-19 Relief Fund. If you're interested in donating, you're listening live right now, you can go right below me in the Twitch page and click on the direct relief link and donate that way. If you are listening after the fact, you can also send us a message on any social media platform. We can get you the link, or you can go directly to our Twitch page, twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter @WeJustLoveGames. You can find Shalene @ShaleneL, and Rick McVick Rick McVick, and myself, Vendertron, and on Twitter. We are also on Facebook, facebook.com/WeJustLoveGames, facebook.com/group/WeJustLoveGames. And if you're interested in joining the chat after dark, which is our Discord, and you're listening live right now, you can access that through our Twitch page, or you can send us a message on social media and we'll get you the link. I think that we just had a new person pop in, actually, during the show right now, so welcome to whoever that is. We record the show live at 6:30 p.m. real time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, in the evenings every Friday, and we alternate between that Fallout show and Gamestack podcast right here on twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. Don't forget, you can also find us on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and drop us a review. And we want to thank you guys for listening. And I'll just end the show by quoting Martin Luther King Jr., saying, "Almost always, the creative, dedicated minority has made the world better." Thanks, guys.